Hi, welcome to a new Plug and Groove video. My name is John. Skippy Limco. Nice to see you. Welcome. Hey, I had an email come in from a customer asking for a one-topic tip on making Latch patches. And so we're going to make some patches using the Latch mode, but I want to show you what Latch means. It's unique to Unify. I can't think of many other synthesizers that can do this. Unify is more of a host than a synthesizer. We're using other things as the sound sources, Guru samplers and DX and so forth. But this host has this cool ability called Latch Mode Mono, where you can play a note. And that's now latched, because all these parts that have the little green latch, you can see the indicators, it's the left half of the keyboard. So the right half of the keyboard is just a cool synthesizer keyboard sound. I can bring up the mod wheel. And when I play a new note in the left hand, it's going to stop that note from ringing out and go to the new note. That's because the Latch mode is mono. If it was polyphonic, for example, Omnisphere has a similar Latch mode, but it's polyphonic, meaning you have to turn off by playing that note that you first played again, and then play the new note at the same time. Here you don't have to do it. You just play one note because it's mono. In fact, here, I can show you from above. So I can play B flat. That's now shifted to B flat. Play the mod wheel. And I have a little sequence I can start from Cloud City. With a little bit of edit, embellishment in Logic. So it's really fun to be able to jam with really cool sets of have a groove in the background and then have these really cool pedal tone based grooves to play with, right? So how do you set these up? The cool thing about this is that you can use any plugin to do this. Let me show you just a couple other examples. For example, just give you some other ways of using this. Meaning of Life is a little bit different in that instead of playing a pedal tone, I have, as you can see, 6 layers set up. And if you look here at the transpose settings, they're set to different intervals for a chord. And then like that type of thing. There's also piano rain. Now you can't see the top note of my keyboard because this camera here isn't wide enough, but the top note is playing just this La Fortuna from Costa Rica rain sample I created when I was in Costa Rica. And then below is a piano. So you could have any sound effect or any environmental effect, like a space ambient bass drone or something, set up to be playing, and then have the rest of the keyboard to call up other sounds. Kind of cool, huh? So let me show you how to build these. If you hit init, we are at ground zero. It's blank. It's got this little sine wave, right? Let's go over here to, let's do this. Let's go to favorite instrument. Let's go to Omnisphere. Let's call up an Omnisphere layer and find something that we want to have on a note that we can trigger. Maybe a couple things. Maybe we'll play some of the BPM stuff to make like a cool jam. We're going to use a jam without needing other workstations because Unify does have standalone. That's a great way to use Unify because then you don't have to call up a computer and set all that up. So let's go over here to Omnipulse. These are these libraries I've made for Omnisphere that are nothing but BPM patches. In fact, I have these over here inside of Unify as the unified library. So we'll call up the patches from Omnipulse. So I can go BPM bass. That's a good start. Let's go down here and change this to Unify layer, and let's add some other elements to this. Let's add like a guitar, maybe Buta Ping Pong. And let's transpose it. And let's go over here to pad to Walk Among Fallen. Use one that's got more tonality. Not quite so, that's kind of depressing. And let's go over here and let's say duplicate. Let's go duplicate. And let's go to another library. Yeah, we don't want to do that. Let's say, so I've got a library coming out this week for Diva from, this is from Soundsonic Arts. Let's go here to the ARPs and let's find something that will work with this. We're still in Unified layer, so I click this, it's going to load Diva. Not quite right. So you can open this Unified layer. Let's go through other patches. I like that. Let's duplicate this. And maybe I want to groove just to make it complete. So let's go over here to, oh, there's so many good grooves. Let's go to Lo-Fi, because this is a really cool Lo-Fi kit. And we're going to say install Unify layer, but as drums. So make sure that it doesn't transpose the drum parts pitch-wise. Let's go over here to Lo-Fi and just choose one of these. And now I want this to latch. So I just have to go through each one of these, and instead of raw MIDI in, just set it to mono latch. So we go through each one. Since I made so many, it takes a little bit more work than if I was just doing one, but I just want to show how you can build up these really, really fun soundscapes of your own. Turn on the latch button. So if you're in your DAW or other settings and it's not sustaining when you play a note, go down here and set it to MIDI/latch for the trigger mode. There. And that will play, and if I play that note again, it stops. Now, I'm going to right-click on the G8 for all of these layers, and then hit B3. Actually, B2. So that way, it will play in this part of the keyboard. But now I need something for the right hand, right? And I want the clock to no longer be listening to the top half of the keyboard. So I want it to stop at B3, actually B2 as well. So that way I can play up here and notice it doesn't re-trigger the sound anymore because the key range for trigger and all the layers are limited to stop at B3. And then let's go to Subsonic Arts, to the Diva Station. Let's go to Synth or Pad. Let's set this to Unify layer. I'm gonna do nice. Like try that, and let's add a pulse. And whatever this is. And then let's take and right click on the C-2 and say C3. Cool. And I'm going to bring down my levels a little bit by holding down Option and turning down the levels to like -7. And then I might want to go to the drums or the bass and bump them back up. Typically drums and bass are a little bit louder than everybody else, just to fit the mix. And where's my lo-fi drums? Right here. Pretty cool. So there you go. So Latch can do this type of stuff so well. Again, it can be used for environmental stuff. If we said init and we went down to, there's all these really cool in this Diva Station library, there's all these really cool effects. So let's say normal to start with, and let's find a sound. That's cool. Let's go over here and let's go to Unify layer. And let's go to the factory library and say ENV, which means environmental. And there's all these rain, calm evening in Costa Rica, which when played transposed down the keyboard like the original, up here it get lower. Starts to become this really, really cool sound effect layer. And let's find a bass. So let's go over here to bass, just type bass. Let's say we want to, God mode. There we go. Now, this effect sound is not transposed properly, even though it has pitch. So I'm going to just transpose it. That's cool. Let's put a huge reverb on that bass sound. Let's say water verb, ring out forever. Just a little bit of it, just to give it some more environmental. Maybe I want it to be a little bit darker. What's cool with Unify is we have all sorts of effects in here, including Filter Max, which I use all the time. There. And let's say I want a knob to that so I can play with that, even with the mod wheel. So go over here to the mod wheel, link parameters, give me the full range of the effect. See, I'm on layer 1, effect, filter max, filter frequency. So now, I've got that to play with. And if I don't want to go all the way up here, I can change this and I hear it in real time. It's another one of the unique things with Unify that's just so wonderful to work with. So now, and it's not really affecting the environmental sound or the other sounds. So it's this cool thing you can play with. So let's go over here, set these to MIDI in mono latch. Mono latch, turn them on. And go over here to the clock, say triggering to latch mode, right click on that, say B2. So now it just latches for down here in the lower half of the keyboard. And then put something on the right hand. Let's see, for this, maybe some sort of cool wave sequence kind of thing. So if you go up here and go WS, there's all these really cool wave sequence patches like Sequence Silk. Let's load that. And right click on C-2 and have it stop at C3 and oh, I need to tell my other bass parts to only play here. You see, there's so many possible ways to play with this. It's really fun. Now let's combine this with that groove I showed at the beginning. Let's go over here. This could be fun. But I'm going to turn off my bass part that was there, so it's just a drum groove. There. Get back to playing on that layer. Isn't that fun? Especially if you have sounds that like this have like that bass has that little bit of slight resonance filter dropping, right? So that's really cool for it doesn't just sit there. It's actually evolving. And then having that bass sound just right there, just ready to wow. Really fun. So that's latch mode. Lots of ways to use it. All you have to do, this little circle down here is the same as stop. So if you don't remember what note you played and you need it to stop, that's what this little button over here is for, is it's stop. Stop latch notes, as you can see when you see the help for it. So all you do is you click on where it says in and you change it to mono latch, and that layer, whatever is on it, now will play. And we'll keep playing that until either the envelopes fade it down to 0 or until you play another note, right? Or until you hit the stop button here or your DAW or something like that. So I hope this helps. I hope this inspires. That's what Unify is all about. Help you have fun with your libraries. Don't forget, this coming week, we're releasing this library for Diva. This Diva Station library is really, really cool. So see you later.